coming up.
That union hasn't changed. The people that were in it are still running it.
2 steps forward.
It stinks to the high heavens.
But 3 steps backward.
If they can do that in a union office, they're untouchable.
In the fight to clean up.
The crooks are everywhere. Some would say they're hiding in plain sight.
The rottenness at the CFMEU.
You're saying the bikies, the gangsters, still have a strong reach inside the union?
They've got a stronger position than they had 14 or 15 months ago.
That's next on 60 Minutes.
In 60 Minutes, The Age and the Sydney Morning Herald exposed the full extent of the rottenness in the construction wing of the CFMEU. The federal government was quick to promise to clean it up, and progress seemed to be being made. Decent, hard-working unionists were identified and promoted, while the baddies were booted. Or so we thought. What's emerging now, though, 15 months on, is that some suspected corrupt union officials weren't sacked, rather the exact opposite. Believe it or not, they've been given expanded leadership roles at the CFMEU. Charles Ferrugia feels utterly betrayed by the union he once loved and served. He was a CFMEU delegate on the Big Build, Victoria's taxpayer-funded mega rail and road scheme. But for the last 10 months, he's been effectively locked out of the industry he spent much of his working life in. Tonight, alongside his wife Helena, this union insider is turning whistleblower to expose the corrupt and allegedly criminal deal that he says ended his career. You're taking a great risk in sticking your head up to speak out. Why take it?
Got nothing to lose now. They've taken everything from me.
We just want Charles to get his job back. It's heartbreaking.
Charles's shocking story of the inner workings of the CFMEU points to just how bad things still remain at the union's most powerful branch. As you'll see tonight, the CFMEU in Victoria is still facing allegations of corruption and intimidation. It's clear, more than a year into the Albanese government's much vaunted clean-up, the rot still remains. Charles Ferrugia spent 15 years as a steel fixer on the construction sites of Melbourne until an injury took him off the job. A proud family man, he wanted a better future for his daughters. So he volunteered at the CFMEU until the union gave him his dream job as its delegate on a major government rail line project. It was then Charles made his first discovery that the union had been secretly and successfully demanding sweetheart jobs for union bosses, relatives and mates, and for criminal gang members. You got your job as a delegate on the Big Build the hard way. How did others get their jobs as delegates?
Look, it's not really talked about, but there's usually you've got to be related to get a job. If you're got a bit of a colourful background, you know, you're a big name, you're going to get a job a lot quicker.
So a big name what, in the bikie world?
I wouldn't say just bikie. Like, if you've got a bit of pull behind you, you're going to get a job a lot easier than someone else.
It's about who you know.
About who you know.
We work in one of the most dangerous jobs in the world.
There was no better person to know than disgraced former union strongman John Setka, the head of the all-powerful Croatian union faction.
You obviously got crews. You got your Croatian crew, you got your Greek crew. John being the top, he's had his Croatian crew.
The Croatian crew, you say, was the most powerful?
Well, John was in charge.
What happens with those who messed with the Croatian crew?
I'm a perfect example. I had a fight with my neighbour. My neighbour happened to be part of John's crew, and I paid a very, very heavy price for getting into an argument with him.
What began as a simple neighbour dispute that turned nasty would, in time, drag in the CFMEU's most powerful figures, revealing the factional forces accused of still influencing the highest levels of union leadership. Charles's neighbour is union delegate Lee Bozic, an imposing figure in John Setka's Croatian crew.
I was told stay away from him, be careful. He's a kickboxer, he's very dangerous, you don't want to mess around with him.
In 2023, the pair were locked in an escalating row over the building of a fence that separated their backyards. 2 days before Christmas that year, Charles alleges Lee Bozich stormed onto his property.
He just barged through my house. He pretty much broke in. He's come straight through the garage and bailed me up in the backyard. I turned around to escort him out and he just punched me in the back of the head.
I see Lee attacking him. He was throwing punches at him, kicking him. He eventually let go. Then Lee approached me. He went down to my eye level. He grabbed me and said, "You're next," and pushed me to the floor. And then he helped himself out.
What were your girls doing at this stage?
All I know is that my little one had wet her pants. She was absolutely petrified, absolutely terrified. Both of them were. At the time, my youngest was 4.5 years old. You know, so to see her mummy and daddy being bashed in their own backyard, well, what are you going to do?
Beaten and battered, what Charles did was immediately seek revenge. With his 76-year-old father and 2 brothers, and armed with makeshift weapons, they brutally attacked Lee Bozich.
Yeah, I'm not proud of it. And, you know, probably could have gone a different way about it. But, yeah, tensions were high and we went around there and we bashed him.
You bashed him pretty good.
How far would you go if it was your kids that witnessed that?
Both were appalling acts, soon to be under police investigation. But it's what happened next that's at the heart of this story. In February last year, Charles says he was summoned to a secret meeting by the CFMEU and given an order. If he wanted to keep working on Labor government projects, he had to agree to stymie the police investigation and cover up the alleged crimes of Lee Bozich.
That I had to shut my mouth, keep quiet, not tell anyone, and if the police were to get involved, to make no comment.
Cover up Lee's assault of you, you get work.
Correct.
Did you accept the deal?
Yeah, I did.
When quizzed by detectives, Charles refused to talk about Lee's alleged bashing of him and instead confessed in court only to his part of the violence, getting a good behaviour bond. It was after that, he says, the CFMEU's Croatian faction double-crossed him, banning him from ever working again and targeting him with a relentless campaign of threats to ensure his ongoing silence.
I had a lot of death threats put towards me.
We were told, watch out. You know, these people are coming after you. Better move your family.
I was going to be ambushed. My car was going to get burnt. My house was going to get burnt. So be careful.
With no job and fearful for his family's safety, in May this year, he went to a CFMEU branch meeting to raise his plight. By then, the union had been under administration for 9 months. But at CFMEU headquarters, Charles says he was met with yet more intimidation.
We see this CCTV here. What's about to unfold?
I'm going to get ambushed by Lee Bozich's crew. This video is clear evidence. I'm getting bullied, intimidated. I knew if I left that building there, I was going to get brutally bashed.
Charles flees back inside, fearful of what is about to happen.
And what message were they trying to send you?
They're trying to scare me, tell me, keep quiet. If they can do that in the union office and not have any fear of getting in trouble, they're untouchable.
Charles has appealed to the administration and the government without success. In August, the CFMEU's new boss in Victoria, Zack Smith, agreed to meet him at a cafe where he offered his support.
And look, to be honest with you, I'm not discounting anything you say, but at the end of the day, those matters shouldn't prevent you from working.
No.
Whatever.
He gave me his word that he was going to meet up with me every Friday until he fixed it.
Did he do that?
No. Once again, I was sold a lie.
Do you think Zack Smith meant what he said?
I believe that he knew that it was wrong what's happened to me, but he was in a position that he couldn't help me because there was people above him.
What do you mean? He's the boss, isn't he?
In my opinion, that that union hasn't changed. The people that were in it are still running it.
Who do you think is truly running the union?
John still clearly has a big say in it.
John Setka.
Yes.
It's an extraordinary claim that John Setka, who resigned on the eve of the building bad scandal, might still be exerting control 15 months on. But it's a view shared by many with high-level connections to the union, including former CFMEU National Secretary John Sutton.
People either say that he's got a major say in the running of the branch or he's actually in control of the branch. There might be other people that claim to be running it, but all the indications I get is that he's having a profound influence, and that means a negative influence, and that means that the people that were meant to be cleaned out, underworld, bikies, all this sort of stuff that was meant to occur simply hasn't.
You're saying the bikies, the gangsters, still have a strong reach inside that union?
Every bit of information I get is that they've got as strong a position, perhaps even stronger, than they had 14 or 15 months ago.
Even though he still leads the Croatian faction, there's no suggestion Setka had a hand in what happened to Charles. But tonight we can also reveal serious allegations of corruption against another key member of the all-powerful faction. His name is John Perkovic, a long-time mate of Setka's who was promoted to second in charge of the Victorian branch to oversee the union clean-up.
There's been a cloud over him for quite some time, so it really was remarkable. I think the whole industry was sort of shocked when he was promoted to second in charge.
If there has been a cloud over Perkovic, as you say, why on earth was he promoted by the administration into a leadership position?
It is, I think, almost inconceivable how he could have been promoted. You'd have to ask the administration.
We've investigated long-standing information Perkovic formed rotten deals with building companies, and what we discovered is shocking. Perkovic's $1.7 million house was built by a construction company boss whose firms he helped make rich using his union power, while the $1 million back block was secretly bought for Perkovic by a second commercial construction industry firm, and in a highly suspect deal was sold to his daughter 4 years later.
None of this stuff would come ever without any strings attached. This is, it's all about, I'll scratch your back, here you go. You scratch mine, you look after me. It's not trade unionism, that's outrageous.
Perkovic has enjoyed other perks, like the use of this $150,000 Land Rover, provided by a construction company boss, and the use of a vintage Ford GT like this one, worth over $100,000, provided by yet another building firm, long promoted by Perkovic using his CFMEU power. A building firm also paid for Perkovic's home and contents insurance, which includes premiums to cover his 2 expensive Rolex watches. He also has a cosy relationship with gangland figure Nick Gatto, who we can reveal gave him a gold Versace bracelet.
It's just fundamentally wrong. If you take gifts from the underworld, they've got you on the hook. That's what they're after. They want you on the hook. They've got something on you.
The administrator, Mark Irving KC, Zach Smith, union leader, stood by John Perkovic and his promotion to second in charge even after knowing he'd taken that gold bracelet from Gatto. Is that appropriate?
Well, of course it's not appropriate. You fundamentally should not be taking any kind of gratuities or any of this stuff. Well, you shouldn't be taking it from employers, let alone underworld identities. It's outrageous. It's unbelievable.
Late last week, the evidence we unearthed proved too much, and Perkovic was called in by the union administration and removed from his position. Despite the shocking scandal, the administration insists it is up to the task of reforming the CFMEU. But plenty disagree. Can the administration still seize the opportunity to clean up?
Well, they've got to get cracking. The situation in Victoria is there's just nothing changing, and the crooks are everywhere. They're, some would say they're hiding in plain sight.
For former CFMEU leader John Sutton, the whole mess is a shocking indictment, not only of the union, but the Albanese government's appointment of an administrator to fix it.
They've been there 15 months, they've spent a hell of a lot of money. I think it must be upwards now of about $10 million they've spent to clean up the union. And if all they've done is sort of reinforce the whole Setka domination, that's just not a situation that we can tolerate, and the government shouldn't tolerate it.
Hello, I'm Nick McKenzie. Thanks for watching 60 Minutes Australia. Subscribe to our channel now for brand new stories and exclusive clips every week. And don't miss out on our extra minutes segments and full episodes of 60 Minutes on 9now.com.au and the 9Now app.